You got a terrible trip.
You stable it up.
You stable him up.
You stable it up.
No, you stable him up.
Stable it up.
Stable it up.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mike Somich coming at you for RacingDudes.com, and we are back on Stable 'em Up. This is number 4. We had 2 winners on the first 2. We stabled up a full race in the third one because of how many horses I think were interesting coming out of that one. We're going to stable up a price from Saturday's Belmont card. Ended up going off right around 25 to 1. It's a horse that I liked heading into the weekend. This is often how I end up with stable up horses. There's horses that I like, and I like them for a specific reason, and then they either a big price, and something happens in the race where I don't think we got their best effort. So, of course, I'm talking about the 10 horse from the Jaipur, Smokin Jay, as this week's stable up horse. Before we get into the replay, kind of why I want to look at that, and it's obvious when you see the replay why I'd be interested in stabling this horse up. I think diving into the past performance is important as well. So first off, trained by Kelsey Danner. Kelsey Danner, 9% so far in 2022. However, Kelsey Danner, turf sprinting, 26% with a $4.55 ROI. That's really good. And I love these trainers where they specialize in something. I mean, you have a lot of trainers who are good at the sprint race. You have a lot of trainers who are good at routes. Turf sprinting is a special game. There's certain trainers that I like to gravitate toward there. When you see a 9% trainer that is that high with a turf sprinting, specifically a subset, a special subset of something that horses do, I kind of gravitate to their horses sometimes at bigger prices. And this one, Smokin Jay, is really interesting to me. He's had a little bit interesting of a career, gone from turf to synthetic to dirt. But that 3-year-old season, you saw him improve. And it ended on December 31st of last year in the Jaipur Stakes, faced Kalleward, an extravagant kid, 2 very good turf sprinters. And that one was a trip trouble race. Didn't get the best possible trip he could have and still ran well and galloped out extremely well. Comes back at Pimlico and runs second to Kalleward, gets a 94 buyer, first time out as a 4-year-old. Really logical spot here for him to take a second step forward out as a 4-year-old. So I thought this is a logical improvement spot. We're getting 25 to 1. The horse with improvement fit against this field. He had tactical speed, always consistently between a length and 3 lengths off the pace on these turf sprints. So he'd be able to sit close and be able to get it done. I also liked him at the 6 furlong distance. So that's why I liked him going into the race. Now let's flip over. Let's take a replay. Let's take a look at the replay and tell you why I'm stabling him up coming out of it. All right, so here's the replay of the Jaipur Stakes, and you'll notice right out of the way we got a gray horse breaking out of the 10 post. Watch the break, and this is a brutal start. So you can see there he ends up in last place in this field. As I mentioned going into it, one of the reasons I liked him was that tactical speed, consistently sitting between 1 and 3 lengths back. You'll note the winner of this race, Casa Creed, comes from the inside there, about 5 lengths off the lead. Your second place finisher, Arrest Me Red, right there a length outside the lead, and True Valor sitting on the rail ends up running third. So all of the horses that result in a winning effort are up front. Now, let's go back to Smokin Jay, the 10 horse here, who is trying to make somewhat of a move here. I'll try and follow him here around the backstretch, starting to pick off a couple of horses. And then when you see him try and run up here into this hole, you're going to see that the jockey has to tap on the brakes once. And then when we get this re-rally coming right here, we're going to have to slam on the brakes again right here when the 7 comes out. There we go, standing up a little bit. And all of a sudden, we got shuffled back to last. In a turf sprint, your day is pretty much done. What I actually liked about this effort is that Smokin Jay then ran on. So he kept his momentum going, and he starts to run forward here. You can see Casa Creed peel out and catch these 2. Well, Smokin Jay is still trying on the inside. And for the trouble that he had, for the fact that he didn't want to be in the position he was, for him to end up coming up here and running, I believe 6, just wins a photo, runs 7, just loses a photo to Gregorian Chant, is a very, very, very good effort. Now, we're going to jump ahead, and I want to look at the head-on just so that you can see how drastic this head-on issue was, or how drastic this braking issue was when you see it on the head-on. All right, so we're about to see him break here again. The 10 horse is right here, the gray horse with the white face, and watch both the 9 and the 11 here. When he breaks out of the gate, 10 comes out, first off, breaks poorly, breaks in, the 9 crushes him in, the 11 crushes him from the outside, and all of a sudden we're way back in last. His day was done as soon as that happened. And to me, that was the big time key here. So we have a horse that we're interested going in, has a ton of trouble with the break, tries during the middle of the race, runs into some trouble on the far turn, tries again toward the finish. If you can get a price back on Smokin Jay, I'm really interested in this horse. If it's against an allowance field, it's probably going to be a horse that I'm interested in singling, especially if he is going to be able to get that forwardly placed position. Against a graded stakes field, I want a big number, but I'm definitely putting in a win bet. Thank you very much for joining me for the 4th episode here of Stable 'em Up. This time we're talking a little bit about Smokin Jay. Hopefully he can come through and make us 3 for 3 on these previous episodes. Again, the 3rd episode was more of a stabled up race that we believe is going to become a key race here later in the season. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube's Racing Dudes YouTube channel here, like the video below, and we'll see you at the track.